Hey guys, and welcome back to Kookaburra Animal Park. This episode, I will show you the new enclosure of Kookaburra Animal Park, which is inspired, as you can see, to Halloween, and it's the Red Fox Halloween Forever enclosure. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, it means a lot to me, and share it with your network. And if you want to see more and also the other episode, not only of the Halloween part, but in general of Kookaburra Animal Park, please subscribe so you get notification when new videos are online. This video is a bit special for me because I usually don't do speed building videos, but this enclosure took only a few hours to be built, so I thought, why not? Let's bring the video as a speed building one, and it's the first I do of this kind. So please, if there is anything you see that needs to be improved, let me know in the comment. Any feedback is very welcome. And I recommend you to follow the video until the end where there is the cinematic, the daylight and the night view cinematic, and also some Fox's animations. So follow the video until the end. So I owe you an explanation also. There is the big subscribe button always on the left up part of the video, because in the beginning this video was not meant to be on YouTube, but it was just a normal streaming session. So there is my face, and since it is not sync with my speech that I am doing now, then I thought it was better to cover it, and that's why there is the subscribe button. And also along the video, there is a follower that comment on the video, and I had to blurry his name because you never know if they want to be recognized or not. And then I put little pumpkins over his name. So now you know why in this video there are some strange features. And yeah, so how it was born this video, I thought I was I need to do a new enclosure, and this part of the zoo was dedicated to the little buddies, because I don't know if you see it in the background along the video, but there is a huge reptilarium which contain six reptile species, from the saltwater crocodile to the American alligator to two different caiman, the Komodo dragon, and you can see the video of it on my channel in YouTube at Kookaburra Animal Park playlist. It was enormous. It is enormous. It took weeks to be built. And yeah, this is a nice lady that is walking by and see the aviary. Then I also got the aviary. The aviary contains three different species. There is the red crane, there is the flamingo, and the Indian peafowl. And also these you can see on my YouTube channel. And then I dedicated myself to the African elephant house, which is also a quite substantial building behind the reptilarium. And as the name suggests, of course, it contains elephants. And you can see also this on the channel. So browse a little bit if you're interested in the videos. So I thought, okay, now this part of the zoo is dedicated to small enclosure, which finish pretty short, and they are rewarding and nice to do. So we do little bodies, and I was aiming to have a penguin enclosure in the middle, and then um, all the little animals from the meerkat to the prairie dogs, raccoon, capybara, this kind of animal. However, I also noticed that very many people are doing spooky zoo. Spooky zoo, and every many people is doing it. So I was thinking, okay, well, maybe I can have a little buddy and um, some sort of not spooky zoo, but now is Halloween, maybe a thematic part of the zoo which is dedicated to Halloween, which I actually like a lot. And that's how it was born, the idea. In the meantime, you can see I would like to flag it more than once. These mountain are done by Caesar Creates. They are very, very nice, and they are all over my zoo. They are composed by very many pieces, so after a while they become a bit heavy if you want to add them everywhere, but they make your enclosure so much better. So thanks a lot, Caesar Create, for this very nice addition to many people zoo. So then once I decided to build the Halloween part, the idea was to choose the animal, and there was about uh, I wanted something related to Halloween, of course, and the raccoon seemed the right choice. But then I thought, okay, uh, everyone is doing the raccoon, so let's do something else. And I ended up in choosing the fox, which is an animal that I already have. Not that the fox is not an Halloween animal. Of course, people is doing fox as well, but I thought it was nice and not so common like raccoon and Halloween. Uh, then once I added the fox, I thought, okay, let's do some special uh, plant, and then came the idea, why not do a dead forest? I mean, usually foxes roam in the forest. Then we can do a dead forest, which is Halloween based. And this trunk, this dead wood was very useful also to do the column in the African elephant enclosure. You can see it in the African elephant, but they are very nice also to do the plants, dead plants. Like you can see now, I am building inside the enclosure. Of course, I could not have one entire forest of this plant because otherwise I would have consumed all the space for the foxes. But I put 4 or 5 trees to give an idea on having the forest. The other thing that it came up along the building was mammal exhibit. I or yeah, as not the mammal exhibit, but a walk-through exhibit, which I never did. There are quite a few features of Planet Zoo that I never used. This is one of them. So I thought, okay, maybe I can place one as one of the wall of the enclosure, one of the edge of the enclosure, and then the point is in an enclosure number 2. Hopefully, I will put a video also on this one. You can see it now. I place it right now. This is the walkthrough exhibit. I aim to put the fruit bat. However, I mean, I don't know if it's a species that fit with this kind of exhibit, and I don't know if I would like to change the path. I need to see quite a few things. So I hope it will turn out okay. Otherwise, either I need to change the animal, either I need to change the plan. When I build an enclosure, I have something in mind, not the full picture of it, never the full plan. I think this goes against creativity. I think, and then you need also to, unless you know very well the game pieces, which now are an enormous amount, it's impossible to fully plan an enclosure or a building. So I go with the general plan, I go with an idea, and then I take it from there and I adapt it according to the number of the pieces that I have, and the terrain, the zoo, and sometimes also the mechanic of the game. But certainly this was a good start. I mean, I just adjusted a little bit the terrain. I put four um, walls of the enclosure, adapting also the dimension to the needs of the foxes. So that's why the animal are inside so early, even though the enclosure is not really completed. It is because it gives me an idea on how large needs to be the enclosure first and how much I can build inside the enclosure. Because, for example, the fox, four foxes in this case need around 480 square meter. You can't have an enclosure of 480 square meter because you will consume space in the moment you put a pond, in the moment you put enrichment, in the moment you put um, any kind of object inside, especially stones, trees, um, and so on. So you need to have it larger. I think that this enclosure is around 600 square meters. So then when I put few things, for example, the large dead tree on the back, which I love and I always wanted to use it, and finally succeed to use it. Then when I put those items, the space go down. And now when the enclosure was completed, I have an enclosure of around 490 square meters, something like that. So dimension wise was perfect. Then I start to build all the enclosure until the animal are fully inside. Even if it's not perfect, it doesn't matter. I mean, the animal need to stay inside, otherwise it will escape all the time, and you will be busy chasing the fox instead of building the enclosure. Once they are in, then of course they put some basic enrichment. I mean the food and the water. Otherwise they will starve and die. Especially if you're doing franchising, you know what I'm talking about. Animals are expensive. Sometimes they are difficult to find, especially the female for some species. You will pay whatever. You have the money, you have the credit, but there is no female for some species for a long while, or not at least not a good one. So you don't want them to die, especially if they are good animal or rare animal, and so on. Once I adjusted all this um, thing, then depends. If I'm doing the surrounding, or like in this case, a thematic area of the zoo, then I have to choose either I focus on the outside first or the inside. And this time, in this case, I decided to dedicate some energy to do the outside first. Otherwise, I start with the enclosure. So here the outside was taught in a way it will be similar to a few amusement park I have seen. Um, yeah, during the Halloween period, they have usually pumpkins everywhere, and then they have this kind of graveyard part. And I like the idea to have an enormous amount of pumpkins, both on the ground and that hang from the ceiling. Unfortunately, I did not have leaves to surround the ropes, so I thought to put a piece of wood, two ropes, and the leaf underneath, so it seemed more natural. And then I have to hang pumpkins and lights. Then I copy pasted and basically finished the ceiling, but then I need to place a lot of pumpkins all over. A cart, of course, with pumpkins cannot miss. lights inside the pumpkins, and leaves on the ground, colored leaf. And then I think the effect you will see later came pretty nice. I advise you to stay until the end, or at least to see the last part of the video, because in the last part of the video there is some cinematic, and also some foxes roaming in the enclosure, some foxes animation. So, and then there will be the cinematic night view and daylight view. So I would recommend to not miss it. And again, if you enjoy the video, drop a like or subscribe if you want to see more, and leave a comment in the section to let me know what you think. So the plan now to finish this Halloween area are to add the fruit bat enclosure, as you can see on the side of the wolf. The wolf, yes, absolutely. The red fox enclosure in the small castle that you see in the background. I would like to modify the path and do it a classic cave with the bath inside, and very few light that comes inside the habitat. And behind it, I will put actually the raccoon, which are now located in another part of the zoo, and that enclosure is not on YouTube yet because I keep those four enclosure for animal that I'm not so sure where they need to be placed. Indeed, the space for them is suboptimal. There are quite often protesters close to those enclosure. One of the animals that I kept in in those habitat were the foxes. Now the foxes have a new nice house without protesters, hopefully. But instead of the foxes, there are the raccoons. And the raccoons will be placed in an enclosure behind that castle, and the enclosure will be visible only from the left side of the castle. You cannot see from any other point of view. So basically, this will be the only path, the only Halloween path, the only Halloween area for the visitors of the zoo, and then where they can see the foxes enclosure, where they can see the fruit bath, which basically it's a dark area. I'm not so sure if I should put pumpkins also in there. I am oriented on the no, but we will see. And then there will be the raccoon enclosure. Also, that will be a regular enclosure without pumpkin. But the whole area with the bath, the foxes, and the raccoon will be the Halloween part. After the Halloween part, I have a big project, which is the cat house with at least four species of big cat. Probably one tiger for sure. The lion, because I never use, surprisingly, I never use the lion in my zoos. And then one leopard or jaguar, or call it as you prefer. This with spots, this animal with spots, I like a lot. And then the fourth, I didn't decide yet. We will see how it goes. This is one of the big projects that I have in mind. The other project is to continue the little buddy area. So the foxes are placed. Fruit bat will be there soon, and my hope is to place them before Halloween, and the raccoon as well. After that, I still would love to place a penguin enclosure. And since in the zoo is planned also an area with aquatic animal like sea lion and seals, this part will have also penguin. And then I need to think about which one I would like to put. I am oriented to have the blue penguin because they are new, so it's an occasion also for me to buy the last pack, which is the last one that I am missing. Then I have all the DLC from Planet Zoo. And then around the penguin enclosure, there will be two rows, and that I still plan to put the meerkat, the capybara, which will replace the raccoon in the temporary enclosure, and the prairie dogs and this kind of animal. Um, there will be also a Christmas area. I would like to do a zoo for all the time, for all the festivity, for all the season of the year. Uh, so Halloween is done. Then I need to think about Christmas, and for that there will be, of course, Arctic animal. I have to say that almost for sure I will not insert um, the polar bear, and there are different reasons why I there will not be a polar bear in this zoo. First of all, the enclosure is absolutely enormous, and only that for one animal is making it very unappealing for a zoo unless you have some sort of attraction like a jeep or the gondola to enter and visit these animals. Well, I recommend not the gondola if you don't want to be devoured by the bear. But but otherwise, it's gonna be a lot of work for just one animal. And also there is a second reason. This is a tropical zoo, and hence I need to either do an enormous dome to keep the temperature, or otherwise, yes, I can keep the temperature with the cooler, but it's not gonna be very realistic. So I prefer in the end not doing. Also because there are other animal I can use for Christmas. For example, another kind of penguin. There are very many penguin in this game. Um, there is the king penguin, the African penguin, and the blue penguin. Um, so, for example, key penguin will be king penguin uh, will be one. The Arctic fox will be another animal, and also there um, it's supposed to be not a big area, but I have to say that if I remember what I did in one of my previous zoo, which is called Biosphere. There are some video of it on YouTube. It was a very immature zoo. I was not very good in building. Not that now I have anything special, but at that point I was really learning. Um, so there is it lacked many feature. But the point with the zoo is that I built a huge um, how you call it forest area, and there is many different animals from the reindeer to the moose to the dull sheep, and this was a very nice, in my opinion, forest with couple of lakes, um, many viewpoint, and also some sort of Christmas area which was a little bit elevated, from which you can see the whole forest. I don't think I would do that, but maybe either I do something inspired on that, maybe better this time, or otherwise I will do a small area. Uh, there is also another Christmas area in one of the zoo that I have built with three different domes. In one dome, there was the polar bear, and the other dome, the gray seals and the penguin, and in the third one, the snow leopard. Also, there that is the main feature of that zoo, and but that was a lot of work. I will not repeat these. I will probably do two, three little dome because I need to keep the temperature in the tropical setting, but they will be for animal that does not require much space. I think that big work for this zoo has been done with the reptilarium and it will be done for the cat house, which is supposed also to be a big building. We need also to say that my computers are struggling a bit because the zoo is quite detailed and it's very difficult to keep the pace with more than 200 animals and all the detail. I remove all the unnecessary climbable area, but still is start to have difficulties. As you can see, here I have almost finished the path. I put some smoke and the leaf falling. For some reason, you cannot really see the smoke in the evening, but you can see it during the day. Here it was way too much. It seemed something that took fire, so I had to lower it on the ground and put it on the side. In a way, you can see only the top of the smoke. And this is the last feature of the Halloween part. After this, I dedicated my time to the fox enclosure. And with this, I will leave you with the video for a few minutes. And we got back to the to my voice. So as you can see, as I said before, now there is a little pumpkins because there was a comment in the stream. I didn't want that the name of the person that left the comment was publicly seeable or available, so I cover it with the pumpkin. Hope you like the pumpkin. But he or she seemed to like the work, and now I am doing the enclosure of the foxes. Again, the idea was to have the dead forest in the enclosure. So plants, and then you need to put rocks and leaves, and of course the leaf will be located where there are the bushes, and the bushes need to be of reddish color. There are not so many of them. There are a couple, yes, but the choice was a bit forced. Then I improved a bit the fences with all the stones, and then different grass needed to be placed. Here with the grass, I learned that yes, they are nice, but if you mix two, three kind of grass, it look um, way better and way more realistic. And this is what I did, and also a way to learn the different combination and the different plant. For example, there is this plant, the Triodea or something like that, that I mixed close to this dead tree, not the one that I am placing now in the video, but the one that there is close to the dead trunk. This is really nice with the dry grass. As you can see, there is this hint of violet and pink in with the yellow and green. I think it fit very nicely. I am putting now the last uh, one of the last decoration on the inside and also on the outside of the enclosure, and then of course I put the lights, and I think that the lights are a bit a feature that are not very much covered. Maybe I'm wrong, I didn't see so many video, but sometimes I see video just to get some inspiration from the other amazing YouTuber that there are online, among which the lady designer, Season Create, Rudy Renkamel, and sorry if I didn't mention some other great creator, but I don't remember them all right now on top of my head. There is also Adam Up, and I'm sure I look at others, and I will make sure to mention them in some other streaming. Uh, and I see that they do amazing enclosure, but then correct me if I am wrong, but I don't see so many nights scenery, and maybe it's correct that people don't go really in the night at the zoo, but I think it looks very nice with the proper lights, and also here there are not so many lights that one can use. I also need to learn how to use them better. But for example, for the free space, either they are lighting too much or too little. There is one that I always use, and that is perfect. It gives you really this idea of a smooth light in the it's just so perfect. While the other light, for example, for the projector, the one that has a very strong light, I can only use a variety of white, because all the other either are too intense or either you don't see anything. So now in the enclosure I am putting the terrain. The way I do it is that where the animals walk, it's usually soil or sand. And then when there is grass or flower, then there is grass. Maybe a hint of grass if it's a dry environment, but but generally grass. And then close to the rocks, there is some sort of, close to the mountain, there is some sort of rocks thing. And plant and small stone go hand in hand. I think that is great. They are great together. And if I really don't know what to put, then there are these trunk. I just lay them down on the rocks, covered by the grasses, and they do just a very nice effect. I did a lot of enclosure like this. I see that the people is getting better and better to do this, but I also see that this is becoming too often the way where people build. So I thought to have some different addition. Some people focus on the inside, the indoor habitat. I this time wanted to put some different outdoor thing, like the dead forest with the homemade, if you want, tree. And this is the light I was talking about. After this, I will leave you with the animation. So I basically usually use either an orange color or either a green if I want more nature-like, or otherwise sometimes pink or violet work better. Red if it's an indoor habitat and I want that the animal chill and they should not be disturbed. Otherwise, it's another color, and I put it in strategic points, so behind stones, among the grass, and just putting some light in the area that needs to be seen or make it some kind of nice effect. And some final lights where there is this body here. Here we can put the spotlight and change maybe color. As you can see, doesn't make so much light, so I didn't want to keep them for the other part. Some last touches. I saw that there is a edge area where there is some sort of dark. You need one more light also behind because that look quite dark. So let's put it there. So we are approaching the end, and before I leave you with the animation and with the cinematic daylight and night view of the Halloween Forever area and the Red Fox enclosure, I would like to remind you if you enjoy the video, please drop a like or share it and share it uh, with your network. It really means a lot to me. I mean, it's very nice to interact and share opinion with the people. If you want to see more, you like my job, follow or otherwise follow me on my channel on Twitch, which you can see either in my profile or in the description area. And please let me know what you think, if it's good, if it's bad, needs to be improved, or I like this, I like that. And if I would be grateful and I will reply to everyone. And one last thing, I will try to put this on the Steam Workshop. However, I mean, I am having difficulties to put it on the Steam Workshop. Here is the animation. But if you really want it, then I will give you a try if it's worth your attention. Thanks a lot for making me company and to have seen the video. And I hope you have a marvelous day and I hope to see you soon. Bye.